biggest one we've done online. I ain't gonna lie. This is a big one, and I think in a way it's better online because people can pop in. You know, anywhere in the world, someone can come to this event. Whereas when we do them, we often have to do it in London. We did one in Glasgow. We did one in Mumbai. We did one in Shanghai. We did one in New York on our international travels. But yeah, anybody in any of those cities could come to this event, and they will. Great, and I gather we're live. Hello, folks. If you've tuned in early, you are in the right place. This is the Modual Open Futures launch event, and we ain't going to start till 11, which is BST if you're international. Very welcome. We've got an international cohort of participants this time around on Modual, and yes, very keen that you can see their stuff. And I was just discussing with the participants how often we do a real world launch, and in this case we are doing a virtual launch, and obviously it would be lovely to see everybody and come together in a space, but because of the pandemic we can't do that. But the bonus is that you, if you're international, if you're not in the same city as us, we can share this work with you. And this work has happened over the last 2 weeks. I mean, the work you're going to see has really happened only since Monday, so that's 3 days ago. But it's been an international collaboration, so it's great we've got some international people online seeing the work that is coming out of these amazing participants and students that have put in so much time and effort. And I will talk a bit more about that in a moment. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us and taking the time out of your day. We've got a full day of stuff, and I'm going to talk again about that in a moment. Make sure we don't divulge any important information until 11, but at the moment it's still 10:59, and obviously there will be yeah, I think we're going to be tweeting some stuff as well, so there'll be information there. But yeah, basically I'm going to reveal all very shortly, so yes, we'll get in just a second. And in fact, my clock has just turned to 11 o'clock, so we are now officially into the main presentation. So I will gently begin. Okay, so I am Fred Deakin, and I work at the University of the Arts London, and here is a slide that shows the University of the Arts London's website. It's going to come up in a moment when the slide changes. Next slide. That was my cue, wasn't it? There we go. Next slide. Always next slide. Forgive me, Joe. Yeah, I'm here. I got no clicker, so we're doing it all remotely for various brilliant reasons. And the University of the Arts London, which employs me as Professor of Digital Arts, asked me 6 or 7 years ago. I first started in 7 years ago to launch an initiative that would explore innovative approaches to digital education and indeed cross-disciplinary collaboration. So next slide, we came up with the Modual project, which is the UAL's collaborative digital workshop, and we've been running it, as I say, since 2014 in a variety of locations. We very quickly experimented with online practice. You can see some images here, but obviously pre-pandemic we didn't necessarily need to do this in the room. Next slide. But we were definitely experimenting with blended environments, and here's a picture of some experts giving a talk to a class in Somerset House, who are one of our previous partners, very generous partners as well, and we hope to be back there some point. But you can see that we're merging the online and the offline, and we also had some time we experiment with things like delivering virtual educational offerings on mobile devices. And next slide. So we've gone through a bunch of iterations, and then basically the goal of Modual has been to get participants and students from different courses to come together as cross-disciplinary teams to collaborate on social enterprise projects. And this is, everyone agrees this is a great thing to do, but it's quite difficult in a traditional educational setting. So UAL were very generous and let us experiment, and here's how we came up with some stuff. Obviously, in the pandemic, we had to switch to being entirely virtual, and indeed we did present a workshop, we delivered a workshop just as lockdown was happening in the UK, which was quite an experience. Okay, so next slide, please. This is what the teams on Modual Open Futures have been doing for the last 2 weeks, and indeed we based our workshop on the UK Design Council's Double Diamond. There's a first diamond of development and ideation and research. And then there's a second diamond, which, as I say, really just started on Monday, of production, of actually putting what they've learned and what they've tried into actual practice, because learning by doing, I think, is the best way to really embed skills. Next slide, please. This is what it looks like from a screen point of view. These are all posts from our excellent Instagram account, which I recommend highly. And of course, there was a lot of discussions across the internet about that. But before I go any further, I should mention our excellent partners that helped us to do this. It wasn't obviously just a Modual UAL effort. We had, next slide, please. We had the British Council on board, who were very generous and distributed the call out across their network. And I think possibly as a result of this, just to let you know the scale of things here, we had 800 applications, and we are currently, the workshop took, I think, approximately 200 participants through from 11 different times, a truly international cohort. We also were glad to have Design Manchester on board. Next slide, please. Who also generate the British Council and Design Manchester were very generous with their experts who came in, deliver mentorship, as well as spreading the word about the workshop. And then finally, the Glasgow School of Art. Next slide, please. Who have also been very generous. We've participated. We've collaborated with both Design Manchester and the Glasgow School of Art before. So thank you so much for your support. I mentioned experts. We had experts coming in to mentor the participants. Next slide, please. We had people from Extinction Rebellion, who are a fantastic organization focusing on climate emergency. Next slide, please. We had a fantastic bunch of lectures and tutorials from Studio Moros, who are one of the UK's leading visual communicators. And we also had some brilliant mentorship from, next slide, please, Blast Theory, who are interactive art and right at the cutting edge there. And we also, I should mention, had Paul Wyatt and Penny Hilton coming in to give their expert advice about moving image. And last but not least, next slide, please, we had the Modual team, who have been working tirelessly behind the scenes. Here's one of our check-ins of pretty much all the team. There might be someone missing there, forgive me if there is. But yeah, it's been a group effort, very much so. But we can show you a bit more behind the scenes if we go to this video, which is a little taster of what went on. Your first day. Oh my goodness me, how exciting. Yeah. Fred and Abby from Modual. We're just chatting until we start, but we thought we'd just kind of warm up the room a little bit.
So I just want to have a little chat about Extinction Rebellion. Some of you might have heard of us, some of you might not.
That's cool. And what do you guys all do? Like, okay. See you later, guys. Okay, see you. Bye. These like monsters, like not monsters, but like friendly.
That's so cute.
That's awesome.
Everywhere. So this is the kind of like aesthetic we're going for. So it's really bright and colourful.
Basically, our project was about reforming the kind of education we have now,
but rather aims to challenge widespread cultural perceptions of the issue in hand.
And then when you scan the QR code, and this is how, like, that's the solution.
So that's a little taste there of what the students were up to, what the Modual Open Futures participants were up to. But now we are going. Oh, yeah, I need to mention, of course, yes, that during these presentations, we're going to see 16 projects. And at the end of the presentations, we're going to ask you if you would like to go into a separate Zoom room with any of the projects you'd like to know more about. And I want to stress one more time before we go through this that these projects. There was a lot of research and ideation last week, but basically you're looking at 3 days work, and it's pretty phenomenal what these people have come up with. You know, we're all knocked out here at Modular, and I'm sure you will be too. So if you have comments, if you'd like to comment on the projects as we go, just tweet something, tweet your thoughts with the hashtag Modual. That's MODUAL. See what I did there? Okay, and yeah, again, if you've got any questions you want to ask the project groups, let's just be doubly clear about this. At the end of these 16 presentations, I think we've got about an hour or so of this. At the end of these 16 presentations, you can go and visit them. We will post, I think there may already be a link, and if there isn't, there will be shortly. There will be the project logo with a link to a Zoom room that project will be in after the 16 presentations. So please, if you see something you're interested in, if you want to support them or offer some advice or just some encouragement, that will be very welcome. So please go and see the project. Right, I have talked enough. It is time to see the first project from Module Open Futures. It is, next slide please, it is the Coahpp, and we're going to see their video now.
Did you know that pets are more than animals that just live with us? I'm sure you did. Pets stimulate our happy hormones and are always there for us in times of loneliness, depression, or illness. It's easy to forget how fundamental they are to our health and well-being. They take us out of ourselves, keep us active, and give us unconditional love. Did you know that globally, 5 out of 7 animals are homeless, uncared for, and unwanted? We can change this. Here's what you can do to get involved on an individual level to make this a better place for animals across the world. Introducing Coahpp, the app that promotes the balanced coexistence of animals and humans. The first community-driven platform with handcrafted solutions to find for you the perfect match of animal companion. Just download our app and log in. Fill in the form to provide your personal details and preferences and get ready to see your top matches. You can also browse and see the animals in our care and read their stories. Favourite and save the ones that you feel an instant bond with. When you found your match, just say yes and you're good to go. Pet, match, set. We'll be in touch and make it happen. Become part of our growing online communal living. Chat and network with other animal lovers in your local area. Apply for a host badge and get verified to organise events or begin your local hub. If you want to have a pet tea party, go for it. We're here to offer advice and make it happen. The sky's the limit. Just click the apply button to start things rolling. Find out more about animal rights. Learn about good practice and progress being made in different countries. Follow our campaigns. So what are you waiting for? Make a difference. Download the app now. We can't wait to meet you.
Fantastic. What a great video. So now we'd like to hear from the Coahpp team. So if you'd like to turn on your cameras, Coahpp team, here we are. Over to you.
Thank you. Our product is a Coahpp. It's an app that promotes the balanced coexistence of animals and humans. Our vision is to promote animal welfare and to create safe spaces for animals supported by a global community of animal lovers. Coahpp is our practical solution which fulfills 3 aims. Firstly, to match animals and people to promote fostering and adoption over breeding. Secondly, to build a compassionate global network of curious-minded people and animal lovers to create an online community of support. And thirdly, to educate and sensitize people to the needs of animals and develop an awareness of how much we need them.
So for our community, we designed to encourage people to become an active member in their local Coahpp community, or they can arrange meeting and event in their own local area. This is a strong support network to help them get started, and we can provide them with advice and information. This community work in partnership with health and welfare service so that people in need of emotional or physical needs, they can access a different kind of pet and therapy session or find a pet for their own.
Our educational programs are mostly community driven. They are tailored to your individual locations as well as needs. For instance, if you live in the countryside of Europe, our app could take on a focus lens for insect conservation. Whereas if you live in Asia, the focus would be on the ever-growing population of street dogs and cats. We educate through our weekly campaigns, which are both localized as well as global. Global issues like climate change and sustainability in relation to livestock as well as animal rights are tackled on a day-to-day basis. So you can just use our app in the comfort of your home and make a difference today. We would also like to encourage you to come and chat with us if you have any questions, or even if you don't. Our aim is to keep the conversation going. And we're hoping to see you and connect with you.
Fantastic, Coahpp. Thank you so much. What a great presentation to kick us off. Very much appreciated. So again, as they pointed out, you can go and see them after these presentations. And yeah, I recommend that you do, because that sounded great. I will certainly be downloading that. Okay, let's go to the next presentation, please. The next slide, which is the project known as SAW. Okay, let's watch SAW's video. Okay, that's their video. And now let's hear from the SAW project team. If you'd like to turn your cameras on, SAW, and let's hear from you. Fantastic. Over to you. Amina, we can't hear you currently. Still can't hear you. Anyone else from the SAW team?
No,
Here we go. That's good. We can hear you now. Go for it.
Okay, SAW is an online channel which provides top talks, interviews, and conferences by international experts on stolen, lost, and looted artworks around the world. The channel pursues to educate people to avoid the art crime in the world, also providing information videos that could be used by school teachers. This is a video channel that can be viewed on platforms such as YouTube and Vimeo. During the pandemic, the videos can be recorded at the home of the experts, and the first festival of stolen artworks can be arranged while using tools as Zoom, Slack, and Fuse. So it will be internationally around the world, and our purpose is to stop the art crime and make people aware of it. So I think that's it, and thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Amina. And the SAW, that was very much a collaborative effort. I suspect there are many people behind the scenes on that one, but that's a fantastic project. Thank you. Our next project is Smart Streets. So in a moment, we'll just have a look at their opening slide. There we go. There's the Smart Streets logo. And again, repeating this, after these presentations, you can go and talk to all these groups, and their logos will be underneath the website for the window that you're currently watching. So if you want to click on that link after all the presentations, let's see the video from Smart Streets.
My dad's got this really grim looking garage, right? It's filled with all sorts of material waste, you have no idea. And then there's this neighbor who also happens to be my uni friend, and he's always sitting on his laptop doing God knows what. he told me about this really cool website that people of our neighborhood have been using. Apparently, this website is aimed at encouraging socialization through making activities. Also, they have a big emphasis on zero waste. Isn't that dope? So once you go on the website, they offer you these different events that one can organize within his neighborhood. Once you've decided on the event that you want, just click on it and they provide you with all the information that you need and a step-by-step guide on how you can set it up. How cool is that? So all you gotta do is send invites to your neighbors and make sure that you have all the materials that you need. The website takes care of the rest. I'm telling you, this is an all-rounder website that not only encourages socialization, but also will help people reuse and recycle all of the material waste that they have. So now that you know about this, go and try it out.
Fantastic. That's the video from the Smart Streets team. So if we could have the Smart Streets team to the stage, please. You want to turn your cameras on, folks, and join me. Then you can tell us a bit more about it. Sounds great. Here they are. Here's Bharat. I'll leave you to it. Have fun. And Alias.
Hello, everyone. So our project, the context for the project is that the urban lifestyle in today's world has become very impersonal. So like when you go on the streets, it's mostly traffic focused and we don't even know our neighbors these days. Whereas if you look at the villages and the smaller towns, they have much more stronger community bonds. So this brings me to our project, our product that we have produced. Our website helps young adults who wants to build relationships in their immediate neighbors and neighborhood and streets by co-designing through reused and recycled material and organize the communal events for the same. Will explain you more about how the product works. He's a product designer for us in this team, so I'll forward it to Will now.
Hello. So how does the website work? Smart Streets offers event ideas and how-to guides helping people organize events in their neighborhoods and their streets. We also offer a legal advice tab explaining how you can get authorization from your local council. We also thought that it would be important to have a community section on our website. It's used to highlight what others have made and organized. And these community members can also offer event ideas and improve our how-to guides. Finally, we have a spare materials, free stuff section on our website where people can donate and pick up unwanted materials. And this is really good for our environmental and credentials and really being respectful of the planet. We tried to sort of reflect all these principles in our brand identity. So for that, we used blue and green colors, and we used a stencil style typeface that gives off the idea of community-based, community-driven, and that do-it-yourself mindset. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Smart Streets. Another international project there. I'm looking forward to seeing it, not just in London, but Shanghai and Milan. Okay, thank you very much, Smart Streets. We've got another project coming up now. The next project is Form. So let's have a look. Phoebe, if you could turn your camera off, that would be great. Hi, Phoebe. Yeah, let's have a look at the Form video, please.
What the hell is that?
A dress.
ahead. Thank you, Form. Let's have your presentation, please. If you'd like to turn your cameras on, and we will hear some more from Form. Over to you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We are Form. We are a mobile charity pop-up shop traveling the globe to educate people and raise awareness of the unsustainable practices in the fashion industry. Part of what we do is work with local emerging designers around the world to reconstruct pre-loved clothes into affordable collections, which are available to buy in our mobile pop-up shop. As well as having a physical space, we also have an online platform for sharing mending and repairing skills. And the idea is we want to encourage a global fashion community by different people exchanging different cultural textile techniques. We want to bring communities together by sharing and experimenting. This idea came about because we are an international group of women from London to India, and as individuals, we are all aware of the damaging effects that fast fashion is having on our planet. You saw in the video there that one garbage truck full of clothes ends up in landfill every second. And we understand if we don't act now, then it's causing huge damaging effects to our planet. So we need to transform the future of fashion. And I'm just going to hand over to Makram now, who will talk a little bit more about our project. Thank you.
Hi. Hi. Okay, now we'll be available for our customers or through two platforms. We'll be having our pop-up shop, and we'll be having our social media pages, which will be supporting our pop-up shop. This pop-up shop, without committing for of long-term lease, or this pop-up shop will be mobile shop that will save the rental cost, and on the other side will be visiting open areas, festivals, markets, malls, and traveling to other countries sometime. The social media pages, it's and on our online pages that will be promoting for fashion recycling. Will be have annual calendar that will allow our followers to see where we'll be visiting next. The online short videos as well that will be displayed on our social media pages will show our followers how to recreate or to create collections by using pre-loved garments. We will be having as well downloadable toolkits, which is available in over 150 languages, giving power to our followers to create their pop-up shops. We'll be having Instagram filter as well and slogan.
Fantastic. That sounds great. Makram, you got one more sentence for me?
Yeah, just we'll be having activities as workshops and smart resourcing activities. Thank you.
Fantastic. Great pitch, Team Form. Well done. Really great stuff. And I can hear the applause across the internet. Very good. Okay, so we have another project now, and that is Project Dusk. Okay, let's see Project Dusk's video. Project Dusk, and let's hear from you now. Over to you.
Hi. So we came up with this project because we're women from different parts of the world, and we all share one goal: to be able to feel safe when we go out at night, when we travel, and when we live our lives.
Unfortunately, the stats are devastating. What seems to be a safe environment to one part of our society is a life-threatening reality to another. We do not agree knowing that and experiencing that, to stand back and not act.
So to speak a bit more about the features on the app has a map and GPS tracking, so you can see your location as well as anybody nearby with the app. You have your status, so you have 3 modes to choose from: safe, nervous, or SOS. When you change to nervous or SOS mode, it sends a pop-up message to anybody nearby, as well as a chosen friends list, which is your buddy list. With the SOS setting as well, it activates a strobe light and loud noise to startle attackers as well. The map also shows recorded incidents to see more dangerous routes home, and Dusk partners. So Dusk partners are local businesses and cafes and shops which have partnered up with Dusk to act as a safe place if you need somewhere to go in on your way home. And to avoid people walking home by themselves so much, we've got a buddy request section, so you can choose to look at someone's profile, message them, and walk home together. And everybody's profile needs to be verified. It has social media links, ratings and reviews from people you've walked with, as well as a privacy setting option to show how visible your account is.
Luna is a screenless product connected to the Dusk app. It contains a GPS tracker and allows you to notify friends and people around you when you feel stressed about the situation. When you're in danger and out of battery life on your phone, Luna allows you to notify authorities by simply pushing the SOS button, or update your status to nervous by squeezing. And like the app, it also contains a torch to put off any potential harm, people trying to harm you.
Our solution is not only an app and the handheld device, but it's also a community. When using Dusk, you have access to self-defense and other safety workshops, both online and offline. It connects you to people, providing companionship and support when walking alone through the city. As a community, we can change the statistics. We're Dusk, reclaiming the night together. Thank you for listening, and please join us for a chat in a breakout room.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Team Dusk. And as Olga quite rightly said there, you can talk to them or any of the other project groups in their separate breakout rooms. They're actually going to be separate calls by clicking on the logo beneath the screen you are watching on the website. And that will happen after all the presentations, which will be about 12:15, 12:30, I think. But now we have another project, and that is Inside Out. Let's have a look at their video. Thank you, Inside Out. Let's hear from you now. Over to you guys.
Okay, hi everyone, thank you for joining. So we're Inside Out and we want to open up the conversation about home life by installing domestic objects in public spaces. Although there's been a lack of robust data at present, the World Health Organization is aware of a growing number of reports from diverse settings and contexts, which suggest a significant increase in interpersonal violence in homes across Europe and no doubt further afield as well. And this is as a result of the COVID-19 lockdown measures and has been termed the shadow pandemic by UN Women, among other groups. So our Inside Out installations are a direct response to this. By placing domestic objects into public spaces, they're providing ongoing prompts to stop the objectification of victims and to destigmatize the topic about domestic abuse. So our installations serve a dual purpose in the sense that we have these temporary objects which create a space to facilitate conversations around home life initially, and then once gone, they leave behind them more permanent shadows in their place, and then everyone can interact with them as they please. So in doing this, we hope that we want to ensure that the issue is not forgotten about and to inspire a more of a widespread cultural shift in terms of the images and the language that we use to understand the issue. We really hope that the presence of these objects in public spaces shows victims of domestic abuse that they're not alone and they are supported, but also it really encourages the wider community to take a much more active role in order to destigmatise the issue. We imagine that displaying these objects in public spaces and taking them from the domestic, from inside to outside, it will really be quite a striking image, and therefore we encourage that people share their encounter with the object across social media, and that allows the discussion to continue to spread online as well. We also really hope that this campaign would be a signal to governments to really take note about the need to prioritise the issue and hopefully provide additional funding to support current domestic abuse services, especially in the case of a potential future lockdown. So to end, as you saw in the video, we simply say, make sure to check in with those around you, and together we can all help to open up the discussion. So thank you very much for listening, and you can join us afterwards, as Fred said as well, in our Zoom room to discuss and ask any further questions. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you very much, Team Inside Out. As I said, I'm sure lots of people are echoing that applause across the internet, and yes, those Zoom rooms, if you can't see the logo, just refresh your browser, and they are not open until everyone's presented, but at that point, all the project teams will be available there, including Sparsh. And let's see this project's video.
Meet Michiko. She's 70 years old. She lives by herself in Tokyo because her son moved far away from her and she lost her husband 8 years ago. She likes sewing, cooking, knitting, and talking with others. Her granddaughter Haruka decided to get her on this new app she heard about called Sparsh. She heard it helps buddy people up based on shared interests, activities, and time zones, and to bring people together in a physical and digital way. Taking her granddaughter's advice, she got on the app and was recently matched up with a buddy called Tom. This is Tom. He's 31 years old. With bright curly hair, he recently moved to Papua New Guinea by himself, and luckily they're in the same time zone. He's discovered in his move towards self-actualization that he loves to sew and knit, but he just doesn't really know how to. He found out about Sparsh one day while scrolling on Instagram. Now, every Tuesday morning as they both signed up to Craft Club, they each get their toolkit delivered to their door from Sparsh. Together, they decide to meet up on the app at 3 p.m. to make their weekly crafts. Michiko finds joy in helping Tom on his journey of learning, and Tom has found a friend in an unlikely teacher. When they finish with their wall tapestry, they mark it completed on the app and schedule in their next activity. What are they going to choose? Who knows? Maybe they'll go for meditation next time. Or maybe they might check out the projects board to see if any other Sparsh members needed help with things. Sparsh, touching lives.
Great, thank you for that. And now let's hear from Sparsh. Over to you.
Hello. So Sparsh is a digital platform that takes the form of an app. Its aim is to combat loneliness and isolation by connecting people through interests and hobbies. We considered that the power of productivity and self-care meant that the app should focus on activities based within creativity and maintaining or improving your well-being. Because of lockdown, we felt that a lot of people had felt uncertain and isolated, and it was important for people to stay active both in their body and their mind, which was a large inspiration for having this idea of bridging the physical and the digital. The development for this app began by looking at different forums and what they could provide for people. We wanted to find something that wasn't already out there and that we could use to encourage people to use our app in a more positive manner, and something that felt new and encouraging. So we created a questionnaire and sent it out to our market audience as a form of research to see what people thought and what they would suggest. A lot of people felt that our idea for the buddy scheme was an excellent option. It was something unique and different. It uses the idea of algorithms quite similar to dating apps, but it has a sense of kind of friendship and positivity in it. So the Craft Club is another option of our app, in which the people can come together in a video call or through messages to discuss and help each other learn. The app was designed to be accessible for everybody, even those who aren't often on digital spaces, which is why we felt it was really important to have the option for a physical aspect. We focused on creating a DIY aesthetic to the imagery of our app and the design work of it, and used watercolor illustrations to present that, which we felt also kind of mimicked this idea of bridging the physical and the digital. We also have a mock-up of our app, a social media platform, and an advert for a newspaper, which you guys will be able to see if you come and join us after the talks, as Fred has said, and other people have discussed. I'm now gonna just open it up to anyone else if they'd like to say anything from the group. I'll take that as a we're good.
I'm muted. Tech fail. Thank you very much, Sparsh. There you go. You get a longer round of applause. Had to happen at some point, didn't it? I'm sorry, folks. But yeah, fantastic. Well done. Great project. As they all are, because we've got another one coming up, folks. It is going to be Evo. So let's see Evo's video.
We are just a small part of this big universe. And recently, being alone in lockdown has heightened feelings of isolation for many of us. With no one to turn to, we are on our phones more and more. And when the stresses of everyday life become too much, you need to unwind. Sometimes I scream, sometimes I meditate. But there is another way. Evo is here. Evo is a wristband that picks up your body's movement and understands how you're feeling. Evo gives you the possibility to talk about your emotions to someone who will listen and provide advice without judging you. Help you analyze your behavior to understand yourself better and to improve your well-being. Evo tracks your mood throughout the day. It keeps a log so you can self-reflect. Evo is a lead indicator that saves you from meltdowns and brings positivity in your life. Evo compiles the techniques and wisdom of more than 1,000 experts and has been reviewed by certified doctors and psychologists to ensure reliability. With so much help at hand, Evo can help you reach a state of relaxation. Evo is here to help, free of judgment, always available 24/7. So that you can go out in the world, know when to be confident and when to go slow. Evo, your feelings facilitator.
Right, thank you very much, Evo. Let's hear from you. Over to you.
Hi. Okay, hello. Hopefully after watching the film, you now understand what Evo is and how it works. So Evo, your own feelings facilitator, an intelligent network available 24/7 that helps you process your emotions and provides self-care advice and methods. Our poster shows a potential interaction between you and Evo. It shows how, by understanding, processing, and working on your emotions, Evo is there to help you in times of need. With the role of a supporter, advisor, or simply a listener, Evo is there to make you comprehend how your feelings affect your well-being, your physical and your mental health.
EVO relies on empirical studies which have been peer-reviewed and tested. The EVO wristband tracks and records your body metrics and provides color mood indicators, red, blue, and green. Based on this, EVO gives advice and recommendations to improve your well-being. If you love EVO as we do, we would love to share and exchange more thoughts and invite you to join us in our breakout room this afternoon.
I would like to share a very personal experience, which perhaps some of you may relate with. A few months ago, I wasn't doing too well, and I was too embarrassed to talk to my friends, my family, or really anyone at all. So I vented, and I ranted, and I recorded my thoughts on my phone. And I listened to my recording again and again, and then I deleted it. And I thought to myself, I wish my thoughts could talk to me. And that is when Evo was born. In closing, I want to leave you with a thought from the man who was the first to climb Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary. He said, "It's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." So we bring you Evo, your feelings facilitator. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Team Evo. Very good. And as mentioned, all these projects will be discussed. You can discuss further with the teams directly in their breakout rooms, in their Zoom calls later. You can access them below the browser. That'll happen around 12:30, as I said. Okay, we have Hostile Environment next. Let's see their video.
As if pretending that climate change wasn't real would somehow make it go away. Billions of others around the world who want to solve our climate crisis. Extreme weather events Great. That's let's hear from the Hostile Environment team. Over to you. Go for it.
Hi, so we're Hostile Environment. We're a group of designers that are campaigning for international law around the issues of illegalization of ecocide and the global recognition of climate migrants with official refugee status. So we've designed a physical installation to be located in Piccadilly Circus and other locations in London, of which the purpose is to grow public awareness, advocacy, and action towards those areas.
So some context for climate change. In 2019, around 5.1 million people in 95 countries and territories were living in displacement. And most of displacements are caused by tropical storms and monsoon rains. However, recently, droughts and rising sea levels have increasingly affected people's mobility worldwide. And the cause for climate change is the increasing of Earth's temperature by burning fossil fuels and cutting down rainforests. This adds large amounts of greenhouse gases, increasing the greenhouse effect and global warming.
So basically, our project is a series of immersive video installations across London, and they project the fully 360-degree story, which follows one native Englander as he recalls the climate-based evacuation of London years earlier. Through his 360-degree perspective, we see the streets flooded, Londoners stranded, and martial law in full effect. Years later, our protagonist is forced to leave England after a series of morose experiences in refugee camps. The story hopes to provide a localized context for the climate refugee crisis, particularly in the UK. It's an ironic subversion of the dialogue surrounding climate refugees in the UK and hopes to provide an alternative perspective that prevents people from externalizing their feelings regarding climate refugees and climate change in general.
So besides the immersive experiences on site, the public can also get access to our resources on our website to educate themselves about the ecocide law and action that we all need to take. Our goal is to steer emotional awareness in people to evoke empathic cares towards our direct environments. Our team believes that awareness is the key to reaching consensus and changing behaviors, thus leading to actions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Hostile Environment. Fantastic. And I said it up front, I'll say it again. These projects have all been created after some ideation and some research in 3 days. They started on Monday. So it's pretty awe-inspiring. And you can talk to them afterwards. And that's my time going off. Excuse me. Right then, Project R-Ed. Let's see their video.
Today, students are treated like products. Schools have become factories, recreating the same product again and again.
Everyone put on the same path, told only to seek the most lucrative job, and forget their passions.
Now students dread learning.
We need to change our system.
We need to reform education. We need to separate education from profit. RED provides learning without pressure, without stress, and without monetary gain in mind.
Instead, we champion exploration, excitement, and interactivity.
We bring back the value to learning and allow you to rediscover the weirdest parts of knowledge, to keep your minds away from the box.
Great, thank you, Ed. And let's hear from you now. You want to turn your cameras on and you can give us your presentation. Anytime you're ready, just turn your cameras on and we'd love to hear more about this project. Here we go.
Hi.
Over to you.
As a group, we basically chose this idea because we identified that there was a flaw in the education system today, and we felt like education was too much tied to making profit and going after a high salary. So we identified that there's a kind of funnel for education today, and that people are pressured into going into higher education, not necessarily because they have a love of that subject and to explore a passion and interest at a higher level, but to go after a degree that will ensure a higher salary, the highest salary possible, trying to go to the most prestigious university you can get into, even if it's not necessarily linked to your passion, just so you can get a job that will have a higher salary. And we thought as a group that this led to people not liking education as much as they should. So things like people loving reading as children, and then when they get older, they never want to read because in school they're forced to read books that they hate and they just associate negative feelings with learning. So basically our group, we came up with the name RED, which is like R for reformed, and then the ED from education. And we wanted to reform education. And our idea was we would have these RED hubs, and they would be free drop-in centers where anyone could come in and they could learn about a very niche topic or subject. And the idea was these subjects you could learn, or classes, they would be quite short, kind of like a crash course, maybe 1 or 2 hours. They would be on extremely niche subjects that had absolutely no possible way to monetize them. So in the kind of animation you saw, one of them was like medieval armor or like the history of stationery, just things trying to encourage people to come and learn for the pure enjoyment of learning, and not trying to think, oh, I'm just gonna do a course so I can put it on my CV so it will make me more money. I'm just gonna join in this scheme so I can so I can just use it as a boost for my career. We wanted to encourage learning because you wanted to, and the idea is the drop-in, drop-out scheme would mean that there was no pressure, there would be no grading, and it would just be purely for enjoyment. And we wanted to help people rediscover their passions and rediscover their enjoyment in learning. And we wanted to demonstrate how fun learning could be and the ways in which our education system could change. And so we also wanted to, as an extension of these learning hubs, have campaigns, like informational campaigns, and also go into schools and maybe teach 1 or 2 classes around in different schools, so we can also expose students who are in school to the ways in which they can learn, that give them access to a place where they can learn without pressure. And we just basically wanted to bring back those hobbies. So thank you.
Right. All right. Thank you, Deborah. Fantastic project. And as always, you can talk to that team after we finish. But before then, we're going to have to see some more projects. And let's see the next one, which is, I believe, the Green Connectors. Let's have a look at their video.
Eco-Busters!
Fantastic. Thank you, Green Connectors. I think you're now called Eco-Busters, so forgive us there. But yes, would you love to hear from you more, please, if you're available? Here we go.
Hi everyone. So as you could see from our video, we are the Green Connectors, a consulting organization that provides a guide and framework for sustainability and consults businesses on the entire supply chain and value chain. So we created this idea to find a holistic solution to tackle the ongoing impact businesses have on our environment. According to our research, several brands want to become sustainable but are struggling to move forward because of the infrastructure of their companies. Therefore, we believe that our platform would bring all the organizations trying to make positive impact under one roof, thus combining the arts and science industries for a better future. We decided to tackle the fashion and textiles industry first and then grow to make our framework applicable to other corporate businesses across the global economy too.
Yeah, I'll just describe a little bit more about how this would work in practice. So the Green Connectors are a network connecting various businesses, organizations, and charities and experts, providing resources such as business guides for sustainability and for more circular economies, checklists for easy to achieve sustainability and improvements. We'd be bringing together environmental experts, scientists, and the latest technology, charities and other organizations, working with local governments, councils and fashion councils, and bringing in artists and designers. Businesses could sign up voluntarily for an environmental and sustainability audit, or we can be sent in to do troubleshooting with particularly polluting businesses. So that's the Green Connectors as an overall organization. And then Eco-Busters are the specialist teams that we would send down to do the on-the-ground work set up by the Green Connectors, where a team of specialists and experts are sent into businesses to troubleshoot, connecting technology, artists and scientists to work with businesses to set up goals and make improvements to the company's sustainability and environmental impacts. So if anyone's interested and would like to know a bit more, please feel free to join us in our Green Connectors breakout room in Zoom, where we'll go into more detail about the Green Connectors and the Eco-Busters schemes. So be keen, be green, and make your business clean. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Green Connectors and Eco-Busters, fantastic. Very good stuff. Thank you again. Right, okay. All great projects. I want to talk to everybody, I have to say. Next up is Post Culture. Let's see their video.
Me llamo Diana y vivo en España. Para mí es comida, porque soy vegetariana. Me encanta la sopa de verduras.
大家好，我叫刘东波，来自中国。当我想要了解一种文化时，我会首先了解当地的风俗习惯，从人们日常的交往礼仪、民俗风尚中见微知著，逐步了解文化背后的深层含义。
Kalau aku sih ingin lebih memahami hal-hal tabu dari kebudayaan lain, seperti kata-kata yang sebaiknya tidak kita katakan, yang sebaiknya tidak kita lakukan, atau perilaku yang sebaiknya dihindari menurut kebudayaan yang lain selain kebudayaan milik aku.
Have an unforgettable culture shock experience? You may want to write it down on a post-it note. How about telling your story through post culture? The text you've edited will be combined with a physical map of the specific region you are writing about. As you contribute, more people will benefit from your stories. The unknown colorless world will turn into a colorful one, along with your exploration. Explore other cultures and share your culture stories through post culture.
Post Culture, and that's their film. And now let's hear from them. Over to the Post Culture team, all yours.
Thank you, Fred. Hi, everyone. Well, Post Culture is a platform in form of an app and a website where you can find pictures, videos, and stories from personal experiences of real people like you about different cultures from different part of regions in the world. Likewise, you can also be a contributor and create an account to upload your pictures, videos, and stories of your cultures or your experiences with other cultures. In a way, we connect the storyteller with the listener worldwide. It's not just a search engine for information, it's a platform for real stories made by real people. This project started from our team experiences where many of us have been in a position of misunderstanding because we didn't understand people from different backgrounds enough. With that in mind, we thought a lot of people must also have been in this situation, especially now that we're connected globally. This platform is aimed to help lessen culture shock and improve cultural awareness, and it's also a way to travel digitally, as everyone can access the stories made by real people in real time for all time. So when you access Post Culture, you'll find a colorless map filled with post-it notes, hence the name, and you can click and find the stories in these notes. The more you explore or share in the notes, the colorless world will become colorful like the notes itself. So it encourages collaboration from the user, and in a way, as the colors formed by the notes, it brightens an otherwise black and white understandings of the world. Now on to my teammate Miranda.
So I will elaborate on the features of Post Culture. On the interface of the app and website, you will find a small button to filter negative stories, which allows the users to have some control over the content they like to see. We recommend the users who are planning for travel to turn on the filter and those who want to understand the culture more thoroughly to turn it off. Meanwhile, we provide a drop-down menu for different categories. Users can choose the specific category like food, religion, custom that interests them. Also, as certain cultures are largely confined in certain regions, a select on the region can help users to easily get to know more about their targeted culture. To add, as culture is quite a subjective thing that may incur conflicting opinions, we don't have common function so as to maintain the friendliness of our user community. On to Rihanna.
Our target audience is people from different occupations and world regions who have an interest in culture or travel. Post Culture is aimed at those who are willing to learn and discover new things about different cultures. In addition, people who are open to exploring their curiosity and want to experience a cultural adventure whilst connecting with others worldwide. If you're that person, Post Culture is for you. Let's break the barrier and connect the world. Thank you.
Fantastic. Post Culture. A lot of applause going out there on the internet. Thank you much. Very good. You just got me clapping here, I'm afraid, but I can tell you it's all happening out there. Great. Okay. And again, if you want to talk to Post Culture, that's going to happen in about 20 time. You can go and check out their breakout room. But first, let's look at Stress Busters video.
Boy, was that loud! I'm sure nobody wants to be heard screaming like that in public. Are you stressed, depressed, or angry? Are you finding it hard to express all those negative feelings in a public space like your workplace, shopping malls, or even train stations? Why all the quizzical faces, huh? Introducing to you the Stress Buster. Wanna know what an amazing invention this is? Do you wanna know how this works? Then let's go! You walk into this pod and scream as loud as you can to release all those pent-up negative feelings. Trust me when I say this works! There you go, again with all the quizzical and surprised faces. Wanna know how that light bulb lighted up? Cause we in Stress Buster just converted the sound energy of your screams into electricity. And it's going to be a charitable organization. That's right, my friend. You are gonna help the society as well. Congratulations! You are the Screen Master of today. Now, come on, what are you waiting for? Turn that frown upside down. And if you're ever feeling stressed, angry, or depressed again, don't forget to walk into the Stress Buster.
Fantastic. Stress Busters film. And now let's hear from the Stress Busters themselves. Over to you.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Stress Buster. With the increasing focus on mental health matters, there are tons of tips out there on how to reduce stress, from meditation to exercise to a daily glass of wine. But the simplest and arguably the most effective one has been around since humans came into existence, and that is to raise your voice. Having a shout or rant may just be the best way to reduce stress. Just think about how many people yell whilst watching a game of sport and how that release of energy instantly makes you feel better. Now that is all very well, but social norms would dictate that yelling in public, particularly in busy, stressful locations such as the workplace or at a busy train station, for example, is simply not an acceptable thing to do. Hence the benefit of Stress Buster. Stress Buster is essentially a safe space where people can offload their negative energy. The pod design provides a soundproof environment where people can quickly release their anger and frustrations and take the edge off increasing feelings of anxiety. To make you smile, the pod measures how loud you have been and adds it to a leaderboard, letting you know if you have beaten the previous record. Not only that, and here is the really exciting part, it has the added benefit of converting all that sound energy into electricity, turning negative energy into positive energy. The power that is generated can either be used to operate the pod itself or via a simple voucher exchange system be donated to a local good cause. Stress Buster provides instant stress relief as we navigate our busy lives, promoting positive mental well-being and contributing to the wider social good. A win-win for both you and the planet. Thank you for listening, and if you would like to find out some more about Stress Buster, then please join us in our breakout room where the team will be happy to answer your questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Stress Buster. Great stuff. Well done. Okay, we've got 3 more to go. And as we just said, then you can go and talk to every project backstage, as it were. But right now, we're going to look at Community Canvas's video.
The community you live in is yours. Community Canvas is here to help you explore your community, your canvas. Connect and collaborate online using the Community Canvas app. Envision the renovation, repurposing, and redesign of your community space together as a community. Space is one of the keystone elements in art. Without space, we have no canvas to create and no container for our innovations and inventions. Community Canvas. Your community, your canvas.
Great, thank you, Community Canvas. A simple hit, bang on time there. over to you.
Hi, so have you ever walked by a space in your community and felt inspired to create something beautiful? Is kind of the question that we wanted to address with our project. So Community Canvas aims to create a better space for living by having members of the community get together and collaborate to create public spaces reflective of their community values. So by creating and renovating, such as examples like benches, plant walls, planters, and creating a space that's envisioned by the beauty of your visions. And we're going to facilitate this by a digital platform. So as you saw in the video, like on a mobile app, where you have a profile. So it shows previous projects that you've done and the equipment that you have. And then a map. So as you're walking, you can select an area on the map and say a project that you want to get involved in or talk about your vision there. And then on the map, it will show progress of projects that are going on and show stars of previous projects. And then also there'll be a chat, so you can share your ideas and a place for planning different projects. Also, the idea is that the Community Canvas is a global enterprise, so you have it's like a global inspiration bookshelf. So on the map, you can see different projects around the world, and you can get involved and help out. And so the main aim is to create a space for everyone in the community to get together and share their skills from different ages, because the main vision is shared among the community to create a better space. So by this app, it will facilitate a better social space and also a better social environment as people are working together on these small projects and using things that they already have. So also emphasizing renovation and repurposing, but reusing as well, and creating a more wholesome community if people get involved together.
Great. Thank you very much, Community Canvas. Well done. Fantastic stuff. Okay, we've got 2 more to go. And just again, a reminder that you can tweet your comments with the hashtag Modual, MODUAL, and they will appear on the side. And yes, you can speak to all these projects later. We've got, here's the penultimate one, MeCasa. Let's see MeCasa's video.
The current issues of a global pandemic has highlighted the unequal access to a safe place to live all around the world. In the UK, the pandemic has resulted in 84,000 fewer affordable homes delivered this year, with a 30% drop in social housing being built. Every previous pandemic has changed the infrastructures of our cities, and we can use this to our advantage in implementing accessible housing in cities while not disrupting the flow while doing so. MeCasa is an approach to urban social housing that aims to help people in need transition into stable living conditions. Housing is health, and everyone has the right to a home. To tailor the modular housing elements to a specific case, we have focused on Glasgow and Scotland. During the pandemic, rough sleepers and asylum seekers have temporarily been placed in hotels and B&Bs. When the hotels and tourism industry open back up, there will suddenly be hundreds of people without access to emergency housing, creating an urgent need for places to stay. MeCasa provides highly personal spaces and environments that provide psychological needs of security, comfort, warmth, and belonging, where people feel, interact, and develop in communal spaces without being displaced or disconnected from existing communities. MeCasa is a proposed project investigating the social benefits of modular, sustainable, and affordable housing available to all in need. Although initially focused on Glasgow, the goal is to make the research open source and available around the world. The architecture or technology is not what needs to be innovated, it's the urban environments and how we support these people that are the heart of the cities.
Right, thank you, MeCasa. Let's hear from you when you're ready. Over to you.
MeCasa is an innovative approach to the urban social housing and the transition between emergency and long-term housing. We believe everyone has a right to a home, and we want to support people into that home by providing living spaces and shared community spaces, along with curated infrastructure of services. We believe MeCasa is an innovative answer to helping the transition from street living to housing. We wanted to create something that was communal, accessible, and human-centered, and something that would help people focus on individuals rather than finding them a place to live. As you saw in the video, the main module is left blank, and the resident has the opportunity to grow in that home. There's just the basic necessities like a kitchen and a bathroom. Rather than us defining what the residents need, we wanted to create something that could be personalized by them. Services in a MeCasa community would include things like counselling, communal cooking, a shared community garden for well-being and growing, and local amenities that would also give residents jobs. We see the value of this project across the world, but our focus was on Glasgow, where there has been a lot of movement of people during the pandemic. We believe we need a long-term, innovative solution that gives people housing security, and we're proposing MeCasa as that solution, and asking people, if we can house people during an emergency, why can't we do the same under normal circumstances? And now I'm going to hand over to Reese.
Thanks, Gabby. So yeah, with the project being focused on a site in central Glasgow, but with the prefabricated modular design, it can be easily implemented on a global scale in our cities. With the United Nations projecting that 60% of our world population will be living in cities by 2030, and 70% of these emissions within cities coming from housing and cars themselves, we have a real problem in our hands that's at a critical point with global warming that we can use coming out of the other end of the pandemic to actively change the way that we construct the infrastructure of our cities. We believe in the construction method of cross-laminated timber, modular prefabricated homes, and also creating these urban carbon-free environments that will have no cars, which leads to less roads being to be constructed and opens up the excess space for more green space, art installations, and social spaces for these people to connect with each other. Thank you for listening to MeCasa. We hope to carry on the discussion with you to rebuild our cities in the breakout rooms afterwards. Cheers.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. MeCasa. Great stuff. And I'm sure you can all hear the passion that goes into all these projects and some common themes emerging. So here's our last project. It is Vandaid. Let's see their video. Great. Let's hear from the Vandaid team. Over to you.
Thanks. So Vandaid is an initiative which uses crowdsourced fabrication techniques, toolkits for urban softening and public empowerment. Vandaid is where vandalism and public aid sort of come together. And here we challenge you to reevaluate your urban context by asking, why can't I walk here? Why can't I sit here? Why can't I sleep here? And change it to, how can I walk here? How can I sit here? How can I sleep there? From then on, we facilitate respective discussions and actions. Modern cities are rife with unusable and unfriendly realms, and hostile architecture has become a means for controlling public behavior in open spaces, where hardened surfaces, vertices, and aesthetics contribute to a loud, barren, and largely uncomfortable public domain. Vandaid's marketing campaign asks the public to question the spaces around them, and to take initiative by means of crowdsourcing the fabrication and installation of artifacts and textures. QR codes on posters and stickers placed around the city or town lead to local tutorials and forums on how to do this in our app. Our digital platform, seen previously in the video, enables a sharing and inquisitive crowd to learn from each other and formulate a response to their built environment. Within the app, users can navigate tutorials and local sessions for guerrilla public domain improvement and provide feedback on techniques, usage, and what could be done better next time. Users are encouraged that installation, maintenance, and upkeep is their responsibility, promoting values of shared ownership, playful creation, and mutual respect. This project sits outside of council frameworks, balancing precariously on the edge of criminal damage laws. So the platform provides advice on how best to avoid confrontation with respect to these laws, and gives designers and change makers the ability to share their own experiences adapting their cityscapes and townscapes. Vandaid is part of a movement which is about more than just aesthetics and greenwashing, with issues such as private public spaces in cities on the rise, and homelessness rife in every corner of the globe. The composition of our urban fabric in these times and the attitudes that come with it are now more important than ever. So challenging and adapting these spaces becomes part of a bigger question about community ownership, designed microaggressions, and placemaking, which many councils and corporates are not yet willing to have. So moving forwards, it would be ideal to have a framework where government initiatives can support an ideology like this, but for now it has to grow within Vandaid's community, hosted on our app. And that's what we've designed. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Vandaid. Fantastic stuff. Very appreciated. All that hard and so much work has gone into all these projects. I'm sure you want to know more. So congratulations, of course, first to everybody on the teams. Done an amazing job. I'm always knocked out. Oh, and that's my timer going off. Yeah, incredible stuff. I'm sure out there, audience members, you want to know more. So in just a moment, I'm going to ask you if to go into the Zoom rooms that are all linked to the logos below the window in this website. And you can have a chat with them. They'll be there for the next half an hour or so. So if you want to drop in to more than one project, that's available to you. Mega props to the Modual team as well. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, and there is another session this afternoon because we had so many participants. We had 200 participants on this workshop. We're going to do another session at 3. But for now, I just want to say one more time, well done, everybody on this workshop. Well done, you guys. I need you now to go to your Zoom rooms so you're ready for the people coming. And next slide, please. I would now urge you to go and talk to the project teams directly. Yes, more to hear from them, quite enough from me. If you're around, I might see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon, but otherwise we are leaving the main broadcast and encouraging you to go to the Zoom rooms and talk to the individual projects right now. And I may see you there. Thank you for your time. Hope to see you soon.
Hey!